2, 1. Okay, what's up, guys? I'm Justin of the Life of Christ channel, and I'm gonna share you guys a story of how I almost died. Maybe that's the title, maybe it's not, but it will be something of the sorts. But here we go. So, a little background info. So, I'm part of this club called InterVarsity here on the campus of Morris. It's a city in Minnesota, not too big, but probably everyone that's watching this right now lives there. We decided to go on to just take a fun 2-day trip to Duluth. Whenever I'm looking at my notes, as usual, onto my computer screen. So yes, we went to Duluth, and actually not Duluth, but like the North Shore, which is like 30 minutes north of Duluth-ish. So it was where there's a lot of trails and stuff, and deadly stuff, of course. Oh, this is probably important exposition. It is winter. It's very cold. The lake, big lake, the huge lake, Superior. It's a big lake, and even in the summertime it's cold. So when it's winter, extra coldness is applied to the waters. I'm not very good at researching things. So here's a little more background info. So restart. Let me read this. Someone who also went on this trip is a close friend of mine by the name of Kenny. Oh, maybe I'll have it like this. Kenny, a 5'10", stupidly athletic meatball. And where, of course, athleticism shows the most is through the wonderful sport of ping pong. He's dang good. So, I know what you're thinking. Ping pong. Sounds ridiculous, right? How athletic can that be? Hit the ball. Other friend hits the ball. You hit the ball, and you can have a conversation. Not while playing Kenny. No, you gotta like thrust your whole body. It's all back and forth action. Oh man, just from here. The point is, a lot of agility is needed when playing Kenny. And with the year and a half that I got to be with this man, I've obtained some of these skills. I started off an easy little young child and grew up to be a mature somebody. I don't know. I'm not good with analogies. And if I did not paint this picture correctly, maybe I'll insert a GIF above. But the point is, agility is needed. Agility has been gained to me. I promise you, this was not useless information. Now let's get back to the hike. Only a group of us went hiking. It was a big group, but not all of us went. Some of us like either slept or went somewhere else or somewhere. I don't remember. It was a year and a half ago. We were walking, and we're having fun. A lot of ha-has, throwing snowballs at each other, that's a ha-ha. Pushing each other, trying to push each other into the water. Probably, and maybe not. After a little bit of time, we decided to go actually check out the main attraction of the place, Split Rock Lighthouse. So, after a gentle stroll, we arrived at a long, big staircase, nice and gentle, safe, that we had to ascend to the lighthouse itself. But just as we were about to get onto the staircase, Kenny comes up to me and is like, "Hey, Justin." And I'm like, "What?" "Hey, Justin, I got an idea." And I said, "Well, I like ideas. What if we went, instead of onto the stairs, we went along the rocky, slippery coast to the lighthouse, right next to the hypothermic waters?" And then I said, "Yes," something like that. So, me and Kenny departed from the group along the rocky shore next to hypothermic waters, with the added benefit that if something were to go wrong, no one would be around to help us. So we eventually reached the end of the rocks, where only a few meters away was the longitudinal and latitudinal coordinates of the rock, with only a mere huge cliff in our way. Two choices we had. One was either to walk a whole 1.5 miles around and back through the safe stairways up to the lighthouse again, or take the more exciting route, climb. So, according to Google, the cliff is 130 feet tall, and if I did my math correctly, 130 feet is considerably less than 1.5 miles. So, a few downsides to this. It's a little bit slippery. If we fall, we land on land, just depending on the height, instant death. If we land into the water, potentially slower hypothermic death. But Kenny is an experienced climber, and we did the math. It was dangerous, but it was doable. A mischievous smile. So we decided to go the safer, more boring route, with the little thought in my head where my mom always would remind me and the rest of my siblings that we have a $6,000 deductible and we cannot afford a doctor's appointment. Admittedly, she has told that to me the most for reasons unknown. So at the beginning of the latter half of our journey back the long route, we get heckled by two of our friends. Paulina and Miranda were standing at the edge, the very tippy edge of this 100-foot cliff, saying that we were the stupid ones living on the danger side. I'm not going to say much here, except if we fall on a rock, ouchie. If they fall, much bigger ouchie. So we walked a little farther and this beautiful sight caught my eye. I turn over to Kenny. Hey Kenny, I got an idea. Go on, he says. I pointed to our right towards a cliff edge. Shortcut. So it may have had the height of a 70-foot standard Hardee's fast food franchise sign, but it had a slope that actually required no climbing. A slip would only result in a mere gentle slide down the smooth slope. So long as I didn't just all of a sudden decide to Assassin's Creed leap of faith off the edge of this cliff. If I didn't do that, I would be safe. It was also layered with this thick layer of super tall grass, which you can just grip on the way up. It was a no-brainer, folks. So what do? I start the ascent. Alone, actually, because Kenny didn't think it was a good idea. He continued the long route. So this actually really should have been my first and biggest sign that this was not a good idea, because Kenny is as fearless when it comes to heights as a Navy SEAL is who walks into a Chuck E. Cheese. So I continue up the slope just so easily, just confident, enjoying the view, until I reach an obstacle that I was not aware of at my first glance. This is a small section which actually required some climbing that there was no way around, no easy path. So it actually wasn't that high. It wouldn't be a terribly high, too bad of a climb if I were on ground level. But considering the snow and how high I was already, I decided it wasn't a good idea, and I started climbing down. So I started down my climb down of shame. But when I was about halfway down, I saw Kenny starting to climb up beneath me. He was only making sure I wasn't dead, but his intentions soon shifted as his first foot stepped onto the cliff and tasted adventure. Like a shark who tastes blood, his confidence went up, wanting to climb this cliff. And as his confidence went up, in turn, increasing my confidence. With Kenny at my back, I knew I could do this. With Kenny at my back, we once made a snowman, a Superman snowman, that is, lasering the face off of an unsuspecting criminal. Lasering the face off of this unsuspecting criminal snowman in this bloody massacre right next to sidewalks where families bring their offspring to walk. With Kenny at my back, I can do anything. So I lead Kenny up to the spot where I had this obstacle which I decided not to climb up. Kenny analyzes this rock formation, this little small, steeper part of the cliff. We look at each other and instantly agree that we've been defeated once today and once too many times. We sent Kenny first up to test up the new ground since he was indeed the experienced climber. The part that he was climbing up was shaped like a slanted, big slanted, like a half pipe, like what they do in the snowboard Olympics with the tricks, you know, Shaun White, as you may remember, or the new people who are good at it these days. And I was at the bottom of this slanted half pipe deal thingy, not very big, it was like this. For perspective, I think my hands are off the screen though. And I started to think, man, I was just being silly, right? I mean, it's even looking easy. I mean, look how easy Kenny's going up. Man, I can't wait till I get to go up and do the same thing. It honestly even barely looked like a climb. But then Kenny yells at me about 15 feet up. Justin, this is a bad idea. This is really slippery. So just as Kenny spoke those words, the rock he stepped on broke loose from under him. With his kitty-like reflexes, he lunged and managed to grab hold of a tree and secure himself. He was safe. But a new problem arose. So what he kicked loose was not just a mere pebble. It was this 200-pound boulder, round enough to roll, gaining ferocious velocity straight at me. We got ourselves an Indiana Jones situation here, except for just getting crushed, I get hurled off a cliff. So added benefits. I look up at this. This is a serious situation. I'm standing and there's not much space for me to move on a cliffside. But I trained for this. With every ounce of ping pong agility that I have gained over the last year and a half, I dart left. The boulder rushes past me and goes tumbling down the cliffside, not hitting any unsuspecting victims by a mere grass length. Probably. The boulder crashes down at the bottom and my adrenaline is pumping. Kenny's up there internally freaking out that he almost committed third-degree murder. Kenny, now already at the top from his kitty lunge, is looking down at me saying, "Hey Justin, maybe you should just go around, okay?" And I'm agreeing with him, saying, "Agreed." Now, for those of you who don't understand the mental picture I'm painting for you guys, here's an illustration drawn by me. So now I want you to look at this picture. I'm also looking at this picture. That little stick figure, that is me. That big little dot, or not a dot, like circle thingy above me, that's the boulder. The 3 lines, the red lines, are the paths to assured death. The first line to the left is the one that will crush me and kill me via that, or maybe just injure me very badly. The one above these spiky things, that is the one where the boulder hits me and I die via impalation or skull crushing from rocks. And the third line is if I get hurled far enough into the water. Water by itself is not bad, except this is freezing. And freezing kills people. It's not very nice to people, especially when you don't have warm places to go. So in many ways, death was a very high possibility. If this rock hit me, this family here would have to have chosen a different location to take their family photo because I was right here with a deformed skull. And you don't have to be 8th grade art student of the year to understand that deformed skulls do not make a very beautiful sight for family photographs. The point is I was really close to my life just being over, to stop living. Dunzo. So now to get a little more serious. Now, if I did get hit by that rock and I died, it would not be the most pleasant outcome of that day, but I would know for 100% sure that I would be in heaven and I'd be with Jesus and I would be in so much better of a place than this world. We're all gonna die someday. That is a fact. You can trust me, it's peer-reviewed. And we all wonder what happens and where we're gonna go. We don't talk about it much to each other, but we all think about it, at least a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that most of us, even Christians, are just living our lives wondering how much money that we can make, or what friends, or how many friends that we can accumulate, what career we want, or what TV show to watch next. But like I learned that day at Split Rock, all of that can be taken away in an instant. Even though we sometimes ignore it, death is a reality that we're all going to face sooner or later. So my question is, are you ready to face death? When you die, you will have to give an account of the life you lived to a perfect God. Will you be ready? I ask this because the truth is that you can be ready. The truth is that Jesus, who never sinned, died to forgive you of everything that you've done wrong, no matter what you've done. And if you ask him, the Bible says that for everyone who calls upon the name of the Lord will be saved. Have you addressed this reality? If you want to know more, I'll have some videos in the description and some Bible verses also there that you should check out. So please know this, please read, please think about this. That's the biggest thing. Please talk to God about this because he's always listening. And I thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was entertaining and hopefully it got you guys thinking. But until then, see you later.